Okay, so let's get started with our Ganymede hat. And I am just going to be making this for my granddaughter. So I chose a little different brand of yarn, but you can type up on the internet, on Google, to a comparison chart. So the comparable yarn I found was some of the Vanna colors, which I had on hand, and they're perfect for a little girl. So these are the color choices that I'm going to be using. So the pink will be for the majority of the hat, and this oatmeal with just a little pink speck in it will be for the gray part of the hat. So these are my color choices, and we are going to be doing the toddler size, which will be the 17 to 18 size. So it will not be in parentheses, it will be the very first size, okay? So basically the finished head circumference will be the size 17. So you will need a P hook, and you will need a 6.5, which is a K millimeter hook. So you will need both of those. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So whichever color that you are going to start off using, go ahead and grab that up. And that will be my pink. So we want to go ahead and start with a slip knot. And you want to start with a smaller hook. So you want to start with your K hook. So you want to start with a chain 2 for round 1. Okay. So what you're going to do is work 8 single crochet into the second stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And if I didn't mention the pattern number, it's LM5424, and it is a red heart pattern. So now what we're going to do is you want to join to that first single crochet that we did. And now what we're going to do for round 2 is you want to chain 3. And this is going to count as a double crochet throughout your pattern. And that is according to the notes. So now double crochet into the first stitch, which is the stitch that you are currently in. So that'll give you 2 double crochet right into that same stitch. And now you're just going to simply work 2 double crochet into each stitch around, basically making an increase row here. And you started off with 8 single crochet, and this row, putting 2 double crochet in each single crochet is going to double your stitch count. Alright, so that means that you are going to have 16 double crochet at the end of this row. So you are totally doubling every stitch. And as far as yarn substitutions, a lot of times you may not have the yarn that you need, maybe like in a video that I'm doing, but you really want to do the pattern. Just go to Google and type in yarn comparisons or yarn substitutions, say like for a Vanna choice yarn, and it will bring up a whole list if there is any for that yarn, which most of the time there is. I haven't ever run into any where there's not yet. Not to say that there's not, but it will bring up a list for you there. So that's just some good advice for you. Alright, so now you want to join into the top of that chain 3 that we started with, and that's going to give you your 16 double crochet. So now for round 3, we'll chain up 3 again. Alright, and now we're going to double crochet right into the first stitch again. And now what you want to do is double crochet into the next stitch. And then our pattern is 2 double crochet into the next stitch and 1 double crochet into the next. And that should give you a total of 24 double crochet at the end of this row. Okay, so 2 in the next, one in the next, and you're only increasing in every other stitch on this row. So there's 2 in that one, and now 1 in the next, 2 in the next, and 1 in the next, 2 in the next, and then you just keep working that around. But yeah, a lot of times I either don't have the yarn that a pattern calls for, or I just simply am making it for a gift, or I just want to do the pattern in a totally different type of yarn. So I would just type in the yarn substitution chart, and I usually have absolutely no problem finding some sort of substitution. Alright, so you will now end with your last stitch being 1 double crochet into that last one. So you want to make sure that you have 24, okay, and now you want to join up into that beginning chain 3. So let's make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, and 24. Okay, so that's row 3. Now row 4, you'll chain up 3 again, double crochet right into that same stitch again, and then you're going to double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and this will be your pattern for this round. So you will put 2 double crochet in this stitch, and then double crochet in the next 2. So 1, 2. So increase in the next, and double crochet in the next 2. Alright, so work that around and join in the beginning of your chain 3 at the beginning, and I will meet you up for round 5. Okay, so round 5 now, and at the end of round 4 you want to have 32 stitches. So let's chain up 3. For round 5 you want to have 40 stitches at the end. So let's double crochet right into that same stitch, and now you're just going to double crochet in the next 3. So each row we're adding a single double crochet, if that makes sense. I know sometimes that can sound confusing, but we're in between each increase. So 1, 2, 3. Last row there was 2. The row before that there was 1. So 1 and then 2, and now we're up to 3 before we get to our double or our increase. So that's our pattern for this round. So you increased in this stitch, and now you're going to put a double crochet into the next 3. Typical increasing procedure here. Alright, so once you've got your 1, 2, 3, you want to increase, and then do your next 3 in a row. Increase in the next one, and 3 in a row again. And then you'll do your increase. 3 in a row here. If you've never worked with this Vanna yarn here, this the bulky, which is what it calls for, this yarn is very sleek and very silky, and it's multicolored. This particular one is, and I have several rolls of it. I think I got it on sale last year around Christmas time, when the I think it was Michael's that had a huge sale. I think it was, I can't even speculate now, but they had a really big sale around Christmas time, around the holidays, and I ended up buying 3 huge boxes of yarn. I think I spent $100 and got like 3 of, I don't know, about 25 different kinds. So for $100 I ended up with gosh, maybe 40 rolls. So this was in it. So this was really nice. This is really nice yarn. Alright, so once you've gone all the way around again, you want to join up. Make sure you have 40. And now for row 6 is the same. This is our last, let me see, for our toddler row. This is our last increase row. If you're making a larger hat, you'll need to read the instructions for that, because they do change based on size. But for our row 6, you want to chain up 3, double crochet right into the same stitch again, and now this time you're just going to put a double crochet in the next 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you'll increase and you'll work that around. Alright, so just do 4 doubles in a row and then your increase. Join up in the top of your chain 3, and I will meet you back for the next round. Alright, so now you should have a total of 48 stitches at the end of round 6. Now, because we're doing the toddler size, the next set of instructions says for toddler size only, you will skip round 7 and 8 and pick up your work on round 9. So for round 9, we will chain up 3 and just simply double crochet around. So make a solid double crochet round. So put 1 double crochet in each row, or each stitch, sorry. And this is just going to finalize our increasing rows for us. So that's just going to leave us with 48 stitches again. And once we get to the end of this row, we are going to change our color to our second color. And I had swapped out on myself. I decided to make the top part of it pink instead of white. I forgot to mention that earlier. I wanted the top part of it pink instead. But it doesn't matter. Do whatever colors you like. If you want it one solid color and don't want to change out the color, then you don't have to change out the color. Sometimes I just randomly get to thinking while I'm working on the project, I'm like, nah, I think I'll just switch it. Okay, so you're just going to keep double crocheting around. So once you join in the top, you are going to fasten off this color, and we are going to add the next color on the join. Okay, so go ahead and work that around and add your second color, and we will start round 10. Okay, now with our new yarn attached, you want to now start with a chain 3 for round 10. Now what you want to do is put a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. So 1 and 2. And now what we want to do is work a triple crochet, but we're going to work it a little differently. We're not going to go into the top of the next stitch, but we're going to go into the bottom of the next stitch, which is basically also in the top of the next double crochet from 2 rows down. So here's our current row, here's the second row down. So basically where those 2 double crochet meet is in the top of that double crochet and the base of the current double crochet we're working in. So yarn over twice, and you want to go into the base of our current double crochet. So let's go right here into the top of that, or the bottom of this one. Either way you want to look at it. And what you want to do is bring up a little bit of that loop. You don't want to tighten that so badly to where it's going to pinch, because if you don't give that enough room right here, it's just going to pinch real tight and it's going to look a little funny. Alright, so that's the pattern for this row. So you want to work 2 double, and when you work in this, just keep in mind, don't get lost as to where your stitches are. You want to make sure not to go into this stitch, because your triple crochet is over the top of that whole double crochet. So your next stitch is actually going to be right here. So you want to go into the next stitch for double crochet. The next one gets a double crochet. And your third double crochet. Now I'm going to show you, I wanted to explain the stitch on this one. Now don't get lost as to where to properly put this one. So yarn over. You don't go directly down below on that stitch, because your 3 stitches, which is 1, 2, and 3. So that hole here belongs to this stitch. So you're going to have to go over to that next hole for your insertion for the triple crochet. So some of you may look and say, oh, the next hole is here, or the base for that one is here, which can throw your stitch count off, and it will make it really off. So no, you're going to go to the next hole over, because that's going to be your next stitch, and then you will work your base, what I'm calling a base triple crochet, just like that. And then your next stitch available, which is here, you want to work 3 doubles in a row. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so yarn over twice now so we can do our next triple. Again, your last stitch belongs here, so that hole there belongs to that stitch, so you'll have to go to this stitch. Make sure pull up, give it some space to work with, and work your triple. And then work your 3 doubles. And that's how you're going to continue this row. At the end of the row, you're going to have 33 double crochet and 12 triple crochets. Alright, so go ahead and complete this row and join up in the top of the chain 3. And for round 11, go ahead and work a double crochet row. All you're going to do is just work around for a double crochet row. So go ahead and finish this row, which is row 11, and work, or this row is row 10, I'm sorry. And then for row 11, just chain up 3 and work a double crochet all the way around, and I'll meet you up for row 12. Okay, so we have done rounds 10 and 11 together in the last clip. So now round 12 is just the same with just one slight difference. So let's chain up 3, and then all we're just going to do, again, we will double crochet around, and the only difference is you're going to double crochet all the way around until you have one empty stitch at the very end of this row. And you will leave that stitch. You will not double crochet in that stitch. And then what you're going to do is turn your piece. So once you get to that stitch, you want to turn your piece, and then we're going to be working that way. Okay? So make sure that you do not double crochet into that last stitch. Alright, so that is going to be your row 12. That will leave you with 47 stitches. So now instructions for the toddler size. You will skip the 13th and 14th row. Okay, so rows 13 through 16 are all the same. So once you have completed this row, for rows 15 and 16, you're just going to chain up 3 and double crochet to the end of each, and you will turn at the end of each of those rows. So you're just going to do 2 double crochet rows and make sure to turn at the end of each. Okay, and that will bring us to row 17. So you don't have to watch me do those. So just finish this row. Make sure you leave the last stitch unworked. Turn your piece. Okay, and then chain 3, work the next double crochet row, turn, chain 3, and work your next double crochet row. That will bring us up to row 17, and then I will meet you up for that row. Alright, so now we have completed through round 16, where we did our 2 rows of double crochet where we turn. So now round 17, once you have turned again, you want to chain 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what you're going to do is skip the first 3 stitches of the row. So 1, 2, 3. Okay? And you're going to double crochet in the next. And then you will double crochet until 3 sets remain. So 1, 2, 3, and then you will double crochet into that next stitch. Alright, so once you've done that, and this is going to be your little loophole for your tie right here. So what you want to do then is double crochet all the way across, or all the way around, until you get to the other side, and you have 3 loops remaining, 3 stitches remaining on the other side as well. And this has been a very simple project to do, and you'll see that it developed a little bit of a slit in the back to where it goes over your head easy. And it's worked in a bulky yarn, so it provides, even though it's worked in a double crochet, it'll give you a little bit more warmth. So then you'll be making your pom-pom, and you'll be making your tie strands. And if you want to make them in a totally different colored yarn to offset the color, you can do that. I do that a lot of times because I like to give my project a pop with color. So I'm probably going to do those with the pink. I'll do the strands and the tassels, the ties with the pink, and I'll probably do the pom-pom with the color that I'm working with now, just to opposite it a bit. And yeah, I'm moving a little bit faster. This is just double crochet. I'm trying to get to the opposite end here. And this is a fairly simple project for beginners out there. You should be able to handle this as long as you know your triple crochets, that is. That's probably the worst scenario about this whole thing to know is your triple crochet, and actually where to put that one on that row. Okay, so now, so you're down to your last 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3. You want to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then you're just going to single crochet right into that last stitch. Okay, so now basically the last of this instruction is for toddler and adult sizes only. And all you have to do at this point is finish this off, and then you'll weave in your ends, of course, but this is your hat, and this is what it should look like. And of course the slit goes in the back. So what we will do next is make the tassels and the pom-pom, and I will make one tassel off camera and attach it, and then we'll do the other one together. Okay, so now we're going to do the ties and the pom-poms, or not the pom-poms, but the tassels. And I do mine a little differently. Everybody has a way to do those, and you can certainly do them however, according to the exact way to the pattern. So basically, you just are going to make your strand and then your pom-pom. I've already done one. So what I did is I made my strand longer. So you'll take whichever color you want, and you'll double the strand. And I doubled my length also. I made mine 2 sizes the full length of my tape measure. So my tape measure is 60 inches. So I did it double. So I did 120 inches total. You'd be surprised how quickly that shrinks up when you're using a bigger hook. So that it gave me this length here once I crocheted it, which is still not very long. So if you're going to do that, or do the size it calls for in the pattern, which is a personal preference, by the way, whichever size you choose to do. So you'll need 2 strands of that. So what you'll do is you'll take those and get those as even as possible, and you can trim up later. You'll want to grab it by the center as close as you can get, and just insert it into that ring that we made, and then you'll just pull it through. Pull all those strands through. Okay, and you'll want to try to get those as even as possible when you're doing this, because you'll have to crochet these. So just make sure to work with that. Get that as even as possible. Okay, and what you'll do is you'll go into the circle here, and I think I flipped mine upside down so that the stitches were on the right side. So you'll go into the hole and then just start your chaining. Just like this. So to do the tassel, I just grabbed a book, and I'm going to work long ways. So I'm just taking a strand and holding it down. I'm not really holding too much, I'm not holding it real tight. So what I did is I wrapped it 20 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And then I get down here, and then I cut it. Okay? And then what I did is come up here at the book, top of the book, and cut my strands there while holding on to them. Alright, and then I cut them directly down the center again. And I had two to get away from me there. So then I just put those together and took myself a long piece, and then I just tied those in the middle. And again, there's several different ways you can do these. Okay, so now what I did is, with the loop still here, I took one strand that I tied my tassel with. I pulled that through the loop, and then what I'm just going to do here is I'm just going to simply tie that into a couple knots as soon as I find it where I just lost it. Okay, so I'm just going to tie that right onto that loop, and then you can just drop that with the rest of the tassels. And now what I'll do is just pick my hook and my loop back up and just thread that through once more and just close that off. And it all just kind of weaves in together. And then you can just trim, or if you don't mind them uneven a little bit, I don't mind them uneven, if you have a little straggler here or there. And then it just makes a nice little tassel, no big fuss, and that's really pretty even there. Okay, and so I basically did the same thing with my pom-pom. I used my opposite color, so I wrapped it a good amount of times. I don't really remember, I think it may have been 22 times. So what I'm going to do now is just take it all off. Okay, so then I'm just going to put that down, and I'm going to take my tie, then I'm just going to set it in the middle, and it's just a standard pom-pom, nothing, no different than what has ever been done with them. And then just tie it. I'm going to flip mine over and tie it again, because these strands like to slip out on you. Okay, so make sure that you hold those strands so that you can have those to tie it off with, and then you're just going to clip through, which may take you a minute or two to get them all done. And sometimes I go back and find some that I have yet to do, but that's fine. It's all part of the process. Yep, and that's good. If I find more, I can come back and get those later. Okay. And if you want to, you know, trim it down and you don't want it as scraggly, and you're one of those that likes to have an all-around even pom-pom, then just trim it. Okay, otherwise you just get yourself a smaller hook, go to the top, grab, not straight through the hole, but you want to go towards the side of the hole there. Grab one strand, pull it through, go to the other side of the hole, and just, it doesn't really make too much of a difference, but I tried to keep the two strands that I tied with. Pull them through, and then you're just going to tie in the center of your hat. Okay. And then you're just going to take that off. And like I said, you may need to trim that up a little bit. I don't mind them being uneven or scraggly, but I don't like them too way off base there. And this is going to be the beautiful hat. And it comes out really nice. And like I say, you can adjust it to your like and do your pom-poms however, or your tassels however you like. You can make your pom-poms shorter. You can make them longer, more bushier. So this is how the hat is worked. It's a lot of fun to make, very quick to make. As long as you're using the bulky yarn and following the instructions in the pattern for the sizes, this comes out really nice, and this is a beautiful made hat. So just make sure to weave in all your ends and go back and cut off all those strands that you have. And hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and until next time, happy hooking!